Good morning from Denmark. This is today's Ascension Runes class. I've been doing this little rune journey every Wednesday. And today I'm in my kitchen. Thomas is in my workroom this morning. He is a university lecturer and he's doing meetings in there. So I've come into the kitchen for all my things with me. And today we are going to be working with this rune here. And the Scandinavian name, this rune, is Ass, A-S-S. So let's come into sacred space together. I'm going to sing the runes through 3 times. And when I sing them, I imagine I'm singing them in a circle around myself. I use the Elder Futhark, 24 runes in the Elder Futhark. This is our 3rd class now. So we started with then Turs, and today it's Ass. So if you want to go back, you can just look back on the Ascension Runes page and you can start at the beginning. And I work with the Usark rather than the Futhark. And if you want to know what that means, just have a scroll down the page and there's a really nice article written there by Imelda Anquist that explains all of that. Now I'm very today. I gave up smoking years ago. I used to be a heavy smoker. Then I sort of stopped once I had kids. But I think it's the pollen. So excuse me if I keep doing that at you. And it's very the sun's suddenly come out today. Still quite cold though. So yeah, here in Denmark, we've pretty much come out of the lockdown, but the government workers, like public workers, like teachers and people that work for, like, you know, the local communa, they're all still at home. The swimming pools are still shut. Few things like that, but it seems pretty much everything else is open, and so far it's going okay. We're all keeping distance from each other, but so far it's been 2-3 weeks now. It hasn't suddenly escalated or anything. So today's rune, it's very connected actually to the breath, so that's quite interesting when it comes to COVID-19. But I'm going to sing the runes. Oh, hang on, there's something I've forgotten to do. I have to do these things. I have to lock screens and all this. And I keep thinking to make a list, and then I make a list, and then I lose my list. And this morning I've been trying to gather all my stuff together anyway. Let me just have a look. I just need to go onto my profile and have a look so that I can make this post visible. Here we go. Rachel Goodwin is live now. Yes, but can anybody see her? Let's see. Public. There we go. Yay. There we go. So, going to sing the runes in for us. Just imagine this building up a circle of power around you. where you can give it when you're hugging now. This yaga past your fool, should your carry, mother of the wind, hold out the thing. Oh, lovely. So, if you want to sing the runes, if you go to my YouTube channel, sorry, there's the pollen again. It's youtube.com/Rachel Goodwin, RACHEL. I've made an Ascension Runes playlist, and there's me singing it. So if you want to learn how to sing it in a round like that, it's really good to do that, because all of the runes together add up to create the whole sort of cosmology. So you're bringing yourself into balance when you sing the runes, because there's all the energies there that have made up like everything represented in each rune. So it like brings you into the circle, brings you into a place of being grounded but connected to spirit. And the number 3 was really sacred to the Norse, the Old Norse. And so the number 9 was even more sacred, because that's 3 times 3. But I use 3 a lot. And so, yeah, I sing it 3 times. If you're really keen, you could sing it 9 times. And as I was saying, oh, there's Belinda there. Morning, Belinda. We're working with Ass this morning. And we can think of this as like the breath of spirit, like coming in and coming down onto the earth. I'll talk about it a bit more afterwards, after we've done the journey. So in a few moments, I'm going to put some drums on, and we're going to do like a short meditation or journey together. And if you haven't done this before, I'll suggest some ways you can do this. So what we're doing is we're tuning in to the energy of Ass. And this is the best way, I feel, to learn about the runes, especially if you work with energy, because you're building a foundation for the knowledge to grow on top of it. I found it very, very difficult to learn about the runes cognitively. I tried reading books and I didn't succeed. But once I learned how to tune into the energy of it, then my kind of rune career took off and has been developing ever since. It's very much a relationship you have with the runes. It's like a friend. You can't expect to know a friend well until you've spent time with them. And it's the same with the runes. And so this is why I'm doing a rune a week, because then I would suggest that you spend time with that rune for the next week. You don't even have to have a rune set. Just draw it on a bit of paper, carry it with you. And then at some time, maybe you want to make your own rune set or buy one if you can't do that. But to be honest, making your own rune set, it's fun. It's really nice. Pebbles, drawing, get a like permanent ink pen, draw them on pebbles or stones, or it doesn't have to be anything complicated. So where am I? Breathing in the sound, you can do that. Ass. Say it in your head. Breathe it in. Ass. Breathe it out. That's one way of doing it. If you're a visual person, you can imagine the shape of it, draw it in, send it out. You can sing it. Ass, ass, ass. I use all of these things at different times depending on what I'm doing. When I'm journeying, I sit and I hold the rune in my hands and I open up to the energy of it, and usually it grows quite big and sort of comes right into my energy field, and then I just stay aware of what that rune is sharing with me, because it can be sharing information, it can be sharing healing. The runes are so magical, and they give us much, much more than information. I am putting together a rune class for us on Learn It Live. I've opened up a new profile called Ascension Runes, and I'm putting a class together for the end of June on a Sunday. And when I've got that online, I'll share the details there. So anyway, back to us. We're going to do that now. Just going to feel into the energy. So it's like you're meeting somebody for the first time. Maybe you know something about this rune, maybe you don't. It doesn't matter. You're just being open, staying open to the impressions that you're going to get. So I'm going to do this for about 5 minutes. I'm going to take my microphone off, put it next to the drumming so you can hear it as well. And then I'll come back to you and tell you when it's time to finish, okay? Okay, so I hope you've all come back from your drumming rune journey there. So how was that for you? I'd really love you to write in the comments below and tell me. I know a lot of you are watching this like in the days and weeks ahead, and it's really wonderful for me to get your feedback, because I learn from what you're saying, and also because it's like, what's that word, reciprocity, like, you know, I'm sharing this with you because I'm so enthusiastic about it, and I want people to be able to use the runes, as it's been an amazing journey for me. And then when I read what you write, it's like I'm receiving something back from you, and it's wonderful. It makes me so happy to read your comments, and you know, this is also interesting for me. And I think with things like the runes, you never stop learning. So I've been working with them for a couple of years now, and I feel like such a beginner, you know, and I will always feel like that, you know, no matter how much I learn, there's always more to learn. So back to Ass. I'll tell you what I was getting. So I'm specifically tuning into these runes from the aspect of the ascension journey that we're on at the moment. So I see that as part of our evolutionary path as the human race, if you like. And I was getting, so up until Saturday, so from about mid-March to Saturday, because I tend to see everything as energy. I experience the world as energy. And from mid-March to Saturday, I was just seeing this huge light. Like if I closed my eyes, there was all this light coming in onto the planet. And then it sort of stopped Saturday. And to me, that was a download of spirit. And that's how I see this rune. We're bringing it in from the top and we're bringing it down, and it's there for us to manifest. Now, I'll read to you what Jörn says. This is a nice little book. There's plenty of like beginner rune books if you want to find out more information. There's also loads of free information. So you can find out loads of stuff free, loads of really interesting stuff. Oh, Belinda says, I felt it clear my energy field. Yeah, I could feel it. I could feel it working on my energy field as well, Belinda. So this is what Jörn says. There's also a book called The Night Side of the Runes. Reading that one at the moment. I can't remember his name. It's really bad at remembering names. It's escaped me just now, but that's really nice. Goes into a lot of the history and the tradition. It's really, really interesting. So this is what Jörn has to say about it. The Ass rune is a symbol of the element air and of spirit, thought and wind. It is filled with divine wisdom and ond. So ond in Swedish and Danish spelled differently, but that's the word for like the Holy Spirit and also breath. In this case, we're talking about the spirit that Odin gave first to the first humans. So Ass is also very associated with kind of the, you know, if we think about Odin, it's the divine masculine then, and also words. So bringing inspiration in and speaking them out, that's all also very much about this rune. But going back to what I was saying about sort of seeing all this like light coming in the last couple of months, I'm seeing that we had this huge light coming in for like the evolution of the human race, and it's been brought down into our bodies now, and now we have to like do stuff with it. It's going to take us a while to process. Maybe it's going to be like 9 months, like a birth. I don't know. But I would see that as like this rune being represented by this rune. In regards to the coronavirus, Imelda, that I mentioned earlier, she's been doing some very interesting workshops during this time. I think if you have a look down on my profile, she's got another one on the soul rune coming up. But she's been talking about how this is very useful for work if you have like breathing issues. You can like draw the rune on your chest or on somebody else's chest, as long as you have their permission. As with all healing, you know, they need to like say it's okay for you to do this. So it's not something you should do remotely or anything without anybody knowing about it, because these are powerful, these runes, and people need to like give their consent. What else do I want to tell you? Let me just think. So when you open up in meditation or journeying to these runes, they are then able to affect your energy fields. And it's quite a profound thing. I like to go for a walk with them. I take them on a walk with me because it can be quite a meditative walk then. I'll put it in my pocket. So if I have a question I want to ask about something and I need the rune's help, I'll take a rune randomly out of my bag, my rune bag, and go for a walk. And then as I'm going around, the rune starts to like tell me stuff. So you can use this very much in your everyday life. I'll give you another example of how I've used it. My son had to take medication, and he was showing some really strange symptoms, and I didn't know what was happening with him. So I asked for a rune, and I didn't know it was anything to do with the medication at the time. I asked for a rune, and I took this rune, and it was Dargas, which is sort of shaped like a figure 8, but like if you had to draw it with a knife. So it's like 2 triangles together, very angular. And I chanted this rune over him. He's 7. He says, "I'm not spiritual like you, mummy, but you know, he's happy. He's happy for me to do these things to him." And I chanted the rune over him, and I felt like the energy go down into him. And then about 2 hours later, I realised that his behaviour was being caused by a side effect of his medication, and it was definitely Dargas that did that. Dargas illuminates things. It's the day. It's like brings clarity to situations, and I hadn't nobody had realised it was his medication. It was the rune that sort of like, I don't know if it sent me the information, but it lifted the veil off the right place in me so that I could just go and see it clearly. So these runes, they can really have a powerful effect. Perhaps that's enough for today. Let me see if I've forgotten to tell you anything. I just want to mention again, and I know I've mentioned this before, the reason why I'm calling this Ascension Runes is because I think they have so much to offer us with us people who are like maybe more new age and are working with ascension energies, because they are so grounded, these energies, but yet they can like reach right up to the highest of the high. And I think they're a fantastic underused and underrated tool. So that's my spiel for today. Hope you all have a lovely week and work lots with your runes. Bye for now. Bye. See you next week. Bye.